Dude, this episode was hype as fuck. I only have one problem with it. First off, this episode looked great for the most part. There's lots of SAKUGA here for the fight scenes, and great character acting that I will get into in a minute. I love the opening scene that I think is anime exclusive. Guys, if I'm being honest, it's been a couple years since I've read these chapters. I've forgotten a lot of things. The anime is refreshing me. But I love this original scene of Kayou making some tea. It's just a really nice calming way to start the episode, and such a nice little detail that they didn't have to add in. There's also lots of great character acting and artwork in this opening scene. Riko's introduction was really well handled, and her character design does look great in the anime. Also, all of the chibi scenes in this episode and the more funny scenes were done extremely well. This scene of Toji betting was also really nice. There's a lot of great character acting for him here, and it really establishes his character very well. Also, the rolling of his eyes when his son is mentioned is really fucking sad. Toji's restaurant scene was done extremely well, however I do feel that there were a couple stiff shots, but with that out of the way, there is a lot of great movement here, and Toji does look and sound very ominous. The music that's playing in the background does make the scene give you the chills, and it really sets Toji up as a very scary, intimidating villain of this arc. The reason this scene is so good for me is that it's extended from the manga. This is a pretty short scene in the original material, however they added this whole thing where Toji runs into this guy and he drops his noodles or whatever, and he has the most intimidating stare. The dude just can't say anything. Toji just intimidates the hell out of him. And this is actually a great setup for Toji as a villain later on in the arc. I'm just eating up these Toji scenes, man. No pun intended. The SAKUGA in this scene is fucking amazing. The fisheye shot of the old man's glasses moving into Kayou's eye, moving into the dog, is literally perfection. I know that shot was shown in the trailer, but I've been drooling over it ever since it was revealed to us in that first teaser. I'd like to mention that the curses in this episode also look pretty fucking amazing. The new director is really nailing the look of Jujutsu Kaisen and the feel as well. The atmosphere of this episode and the previous one are perfect. I think it really brings across the seriousness of this arc, even in between all of the chibi moments and funny moments that this arc has to offer as well. Also, Kayou beating the shit out of this old man was unfortunately dimmed for broadcast. This happens a lot with anime. I'm sure anime watchers who watch the episodes as they come out are used to having SAKUGA like this dimmed to prevent seizures. It does suck, but it probably will be fixed for Blu-ray releases in Japan. This scene also did not have to go that hard. That crazy action animation with the broom is really fucking amazing. Unfortunately, some shots of the scene were also dimmed, but that's to be expected. Again, they will probably be undimmed in the future. It looks amazing even with the dimming. And here we get to the main scene of the episode, the scene that everybody's going to be talking about other than the Toji stuff, is Gojo's fight with the paper bag men, I guess. That's what I like to call them anyways. The SAKUGA here is wonderful. The animation looks great, very fluid. This is the kind of stuff I was talking about when I was saying that the simpler designs will lead to better animation or more consistent animation. The amount of movement and fluidity in this scene is amazing. Also, I love the anime original detail of examples of Gojo's curse technique being shown in the reflection on his glasses as a visual representation to viewers while he is explaining his technique. That is so interesting, so creative, and much better than the manga, because when you're reading it, you can just read it and comprehend it. But this shot was not in the manga. This is an anime-only way to help get that information across to the viewers without them just having to, be reading the subtitles constantly. So that was very creative. I was very impressed with that part of that shot. Also, this scene was way hyper than it was in the manga, at least from what I remember. This really got me jumping up and down in my seat. And what makes it even funnier is that his reverse curse technique does not work. All that dramatic hype energy just for it to fail, that made it even funnier. It was really well directed. So I guess I should talk about the one problem I have with this episode now. Essentially, I think they're pacing this arc way too fast. From what I've heard, it's going to span 5 episodes of the 23 episode run. We've gotten quite far in 2 episodes into this arc, but not far enough for me to be alarmed with the pacing. The real alarm bells started ringing for me when I saw the episode preview for next week. The amount of content that is supposedly going to be in next week's episode is crazy. It's a lot of shit. A lot of stuff that could be fast-paced and still work, but stuff that I was thinking would only be in like the next couple episodes, not the next one episode. And I mean, the pacing for today's episode did feel a little fast. I'm gonna say that they did adapt more content than I thought they would in this episode. However, it wasn't astronomical, so it's nothing to worry about. But other than that, this week's episode was incredible. I was really happy with it, other than the small few problems I had with pacing and a little bit of stiff animation, which was far and few between, don't get me wrong. I think this episode was wonderful. What did you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next one.